Friends and subscribers, new import limit set to give gold more sheen. Basically, the import-export situation with Hong Kong considering gold is going to change. Only those carrying more than 200 grams of gold will be taxed after this new law goes into effect. So before there was a 50-gram limit, but now it is 200, which will boost trade with Hong Kong and bring in more gold to mainland China. That, coupled with a lifting of regulations on the number of gold importers in mainland China by Beijing, will allow many more companies now to get involved in not only the physical gold and silver trade, but also paper instruments. What does that mean long term? Well, you can imagine the price of gold and silver have nowhere to go but up, with more companies in China having licenses to actually import and in some cases export gold products. So with China having such a long history of gold, silver, diamonds, jewels, gems, and so on, here's a 3rd to 6th century plaque, many other things in this catalog from centuries ago, and it goes back even farther than centuries. So is it great in the culture, just like in other Asian cultures and even other...
So, U.S. ends long-running silver market probe taking no action. This comes as no surprise. CFTC ineffective, and no action will be taken for silver manipulation probe. This comes as no surprise to me. Some of you out there may have thought otherwise, and some of the big commodities investors and many of the other so-called experts out there had said for years that there's going to be a probe that's going to be effective and take action, but we are finally on our own, okay? Which is what we're going to have to do going forward, is create our own markets, okay? Call it black market, call it bartering trade, whatever. We need to create our own markets for trading in commodities and other hard assets, because doing so through the system as it's known is just going to lead to even more manipulation. So perhaps that day will come where the 5-year-old probes like this are not necessary because they're all a sham, and we can trade and create our own smaller local economies, and enough with the bullshit. We know there's manipulation, we know they're not going to do anything about it, so we have to do as we will. We're finally on our own. Let's get together, think about creating our own type of markets that are not controlled by any central banks.
So it's amazing to see that the gold price and the silver price have gone down here recently. Gold dipping below 1,300 an ounce, and silver right about 21 and change per ounce. Considering that we have a ineffective government and the world financial system is as fragile as ever, local economies are bust or going bust. Panama right now, bank holiday. Argentina having problems again. Of course, the problems in Europe. Slowdown in Asia. You get my point.
Oh, and you gotta love this stuff. I gotta add this. Shared drive, helping economies to set common goals and achieve shared results. It's how the world becomes better for all of us. That's Bank of America, Merrill Lynch. And if you believe that garbage, then you deserve what you get, because it's not about shared drive and shared rewards. It's about bleeding you dry and continuing the paper Ponzi and the derivative games and anything else that these guys can think of. And we definitely aren't sharing in on the so-called prosperity or actual debt. And if that wasn't strange enough, why are armed SWAT teams at the Hong Kong airport? Good question.